Welcome everyone. I am Himanshu, founder of Mars Pioneers, and today, on the occasion of Perseverance rover landing anniversary, we have our guest, Lady Rocket, with us today, who is an space entrepreneur, space philanthropist, LR Space Media, creator of NFTs, and many more. She is a founder of Copernic Space, and her Sir Grant is CEO of Copernic Space too. Ma'am, can I ask you a question? What is your real name?
First of all, it's a pleasure to be with you
Thank you.
tonight, Los Angeles time. Yes, it is a pleasure and congratulations on launching Mars Pioneer program. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm sending you greetings from Los Angeles, California. It's evening here, but still very good time to talk with our friends in India. And your introduction was very good and very appropriate. And I am looking forward to discussing some of the activities. Lady Rocket is my celebrity personality media name,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
also it is connected with my philanthropic activities, which also include India. My
Yes,
formal
ma'am.
name, my given name is Eva Blaisdell, Blaisdell. Thus, Grant Blaisdell, who is a CEO of a very successful and famous Copernic Space, happens to be my son.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this brings to my another question. How you got interested in the space field?
Yes, another very good question, and perhaps some of you, and your audience and the future audience, have had feelings that space is one of the most fascinating areas for humans. However, in my case, I am also a third generation of space mavericks. My grandfather was one of the founders of one of the first European airlines, and my father was a famous professor and scientist and a general in a Polish Air Force. Because although I live in the United States, in California,
Yes, ma'am.
just like many Indian people who come here, I came also from Europe to study in the United States.
Yes, ma'am.
And ultimately, I believe that space, and an area that I am busy with, which is space economy, social, economic, cultural impact of space on life on Earth, motivated me to really dedicate myself during the last 10 years to a lot of space activities.
Yes, ma'am.
And here is my t-shirt I decided to wear tonight because we are in California, so fashion is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
An ability to show. I am wearing tonight not a Mars, we'll be talking about Mars, but tonight I am wearing Fly Me to the Moon t-shirt.
Yes, ma'am.
With, let me see if I can show actual Moon Rover here on my t-shirt, because Copernic Space is the first company that
Yes,
is
ma'am.
using NFTs to make possible for you to participate in first SpaceX journey to Moon.
Yes,
And the
ma'am.
relevance to Mars is Moon most likely will be used as a take-off place to go to Mars. So first we
ma'am.
are going to have a base on the Moon, and then from Moon, through the moons, we are going to go to Mars.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, our audience would like to know about your organization, what Copernic Space do and Lady Rocket Foundation do.
Okay, it will be my pleasure to share it with you, especially that I am very interested in India. I recognize your incredible contribution to science, culture, and also your contribution to the space program. You were the most successful country who
Yes, ma'am.
created a rocket with only $700 million in expenses, which is very low, and
Yes, ma'am.
successfully launched it into space. And I am familiar with your space center, named after your famous mathematician,
Yes,
and I
ma'am.
believe that collaboration between our countries and people like you and I can be a wonderful, wonderful journey.
Yes, ma'am.
And Copernic Space is exactly designed for that. Copernic Space has been created, I conceived and thought about Copernic Space about 6 years ago.
Yes, ma'am.
When it was difficult, even here in America, to attract funding for space companies from the traditional sources. And government funding takes time and is also limited.
Yes, ma'am.
And you probably know that about 6-7 years ago, a technology called blockchain became emerged as a more solid and universal platform. Tokens, cryptocurrency became available as a new sources of funding and financial energy. This is why I created the concept of Copernic Space as a blockchain-based platform that allows space entrepreneurs and space scientists
Yes, ma'am.
to identify their ventures. We then use smart contracts, and I am assuming that a lot of you know about blockchain, smart
ma'am.
contracts to express a value that you want to offer, and then we issue NFT so people can buy NFTs to provide you with the funding.
Yes, ma'am.
So Copernic Space and Grant Blaisdell, its CEO and co-founder,
Yes, ma'am.
has created an unprecedented example of using Copernic Space
Yes,
to
ma'am.
finance first private cargo to the moon.
Yes, ma'am.
You can go on our website and sign up for news, sign up for our public NFT offer, and also to become ambassador of Copernic in India.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
means you would become a part of our team and learn, experience, and be supported and promote information about Copernic Space in India.
Yes,
So if
ma'am.
you go on our website, you will see a place for a sign up to be an ambassador. And those of you who are interested in following up, by all means, please do that. And Lady Rocket Foundation is something that is very, I would say, very similar to the famous the foundations that operate in India,
Yes, ma'am.
which brings a legacy vision of the founder and applies it toward challenging and meaningful goals. Specifically, I think what you might be interested in is Lady Rocket Mars Inspiration Program.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Mars Inspiration Program, which is fun, fashion, art, music, technology, organized, 6 weeks training. Sometimes it takes longer, it depends on the school, that
Yes, ma'am.
provide high school and elementary school students with opportunity to learn about Mars,
Yes, ma'am.
while also experimenting with art, fashion, and music.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
created this program together with a wonderful teacher, Susan Copeland, here in California, and NASA-JPL.
Yes,
In
ma'am.
addition, Lady Rocket Foundation is the first foundation of this type to use NFTs to connect non-fungible tokens, to connect resources of space and Earth. And my NFTs called satellite rhinos are helping to save rhinos in South Africa. And
Yes,
I
ma'am.
am very happy to open up my foundation to work also with NFTs in India to save Indian rhinos, because you have a lot of rhinos too.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, in addition to it, I have a space incubator. It means I work with the startups,
Yes, ma'am.
and we are producing show. And I have a Lady Rocket news program, also produced by Lady Rocket Foundation.
Yes, ma'am.
And we get involved in entertainment. I have a fashion shows. And today I am wearing one of my NASA dedicated jacket that is part of my Lady Rocket
ma'am.
fashion style.
Ma'am, we would like to know more about your visit to NASA-JPL and Caltech too.
Yes, very good. So, I've been collaborating with NASA-JPL for quite a few years.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to share with you that a year ago, on February 18th, a year ago, when NASA JPL actually landed our Mars rover, Perseverance and helicopter Ingenuity on
Yes, ma'am.
Mars. It was a year ago. I was at the location of NASA-JPL, not inside of the building because of the corona, but I was
Yes, ma'am.
outside filming and reporting live from magnificent landing on the moon, which was flawless, and it happened in the middle of corona.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, this year, unfortunately, corona limitations are still with us. Thus, NASA JPL cannot have guests inside of the building.
Yes, ma'am.
But I was able to be in the right outside of the NASA JPL gate with my TV crew, with my friends, and with a lot of followers of mine connecting with me on Twitter. So
Yes,
if you
ma'am.
want to follow me and know more, follow me on Twitter under Lady Rocket Space.
Yes, ma'am.
And under Twitter, you have the ability to have a so-called space room where you can talk to people just like we are talking here. So I was there in Pasadena, and we were talking about something that I learned from NASA JPL a night ago during Von Karman series when NASA was updating about what's happening with Mars rover. So
Yes, ma'am.
let me share with you a couple of very, very fascinating information. So Mars rover Perseverance and helicopter Ingenuity have
Yes, ma'am.
worked for 1 year on Mars almost without any problems. And this is amazing because can you imagine having a robot operating flawlessly on Mars in a harsh condition, temperature, and radiation without any problems? There were only two problems that were solved. One, Mars rover got some rocks in its wheels, so they had to perform very special maneuvers to eliminate those rocks.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then our wonderful helicopter Ingenuity, because of the dust and dust storm, its rotator got stuck, but it was all fixed. So Mars rover has been operating at the bottom of former Lake Jezero,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
now it is traveling toward delta of the lake, which means the place where potential former river was coming to the Jezero. And so going back to NASA JPL, I will have follow-up special Google or Zoom sessions that I will be inviting NASA JPL participants. But physically, unfortunately, I couldn't be with NASA, which normally it's a fantastic event because they have a beautiful, beautiful events with the actual scientists who work on the projects. But if you go on NASA JPL website and look under events, you will see lectures that NASA JPL has about Mars on a regular basis, and you can learn there more. And now, Caltech, which is one of the most famous American universities dedicated to science, space, biology, is also located in Pasadena. And it actually co-owns NASA JPL, and Caltech was instrumental in starting NASA JPL. Again, there are no physical lectures at Caltech because of Corona, but I was there to meet with some of the people outside of the buildings and also to record some of the video stories that I shared with you.
Yes, ma'am.
That allowed me to stand on the famous land of Caltech, where famous scientists like Einstein and others taught, and record a message of appreciation to my Copernic Space team and Lunar Outpost team for launching our To the Moon NFT. It takes only about 20 minutes to drive from NASA JPL to Caltech.
Yes, ma'am.
They are both in Pasadena area, which is a beautiful town outside of Los Angeles. And otherwise, take a look at Caltech, because we have a lot of Indian students at Caltech.
Yes, ma'am.
And some of you might be interested in finding the way to perhaps someday to study there.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're interested, let me know, and I will see if I can somehow help you make a proper connections.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Ma'am, we from Mars Pioneers team wishes a very good health to Perseverance and Curiosity rover both, so that they can give us more information about Mars. And I am very curious to know about your ongoing current projects in Copernic Space, and one about the lunar rover too.
Yes, thank you. It's very good. So, let me talk a little bit more about Mars. And as a lady rocket,
Yes, ma'am.
I expanded Mars activities to include a couple of unique areas that I want to share with you, so you might consider it. I am very interested in Mars architecture, which means
Yes, ma'am.
how to develop housing
Yes,
on
ma'am.
Mars so our astronaut can live there. Another thing that interests me is something that is the most important criteria, which is fabric, special
ma'am.
fabric that NASA is developing in order to make sure that humans are protected from very strong Mars radiation. Well, just a little interesting information. NASA sent to Mars sample of the fabric
Yes, ma'am.
that is now there on Mars. And
Yes,
next journey to Mars, next robot to Mars, will try to bring the sample back so we
Yes,
can
ma'am.
evaluate here on Earth, in NASA,
ma'am.
if fabric they designed for the astronaut is strong enough.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I am interested in architecture, and I work with Mars architects
Yes,
who are
ma'am.
designing materials and shape of the habitat on Mars. And so far, I have to tell you, the most popular is building something that we call in America igloos. Igloos are homes
Yes, ma'am.
made by Eskimos, because there is ice on Mars, and the temperatures and qualities of igloo design could potentially help protect astronauts also from harsh temperatures.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, going back to Fly Me to the Moon and our Moon Rover, and making a connection to Mars,
Yes, ma'am.
Moon Rover has been designed by our partner called Lunar Outpost out
Yes,
of
ma'am.
Colorado. And they are the first private Moon Rover that is going to go to Moon. It is small, and if you will go on my Instagram or maybe even Twitter next
Yes,
couple
ma'am.
of days, you will see my picture with Moon Rover.
Yes, ma'am.
It is small, but it can accommodate 4 kilograms of additional cargo that we can take inside of this Moon Rover to the Moon. And Copernic Space is like a new form of bank and financier who is issuing the NFTs, so you can find a way to buy cargo inside of Moon Rover
Yes, ma'am.
and send it to the Moon. So if you have some other questions, I'll be happy to answer, but in general terms, Copernic Space is an innovator of space projects, an innovator of the way not only to finance it, but also to let you co-own part of the space assets.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you buy our NFT, you will co-own space inside of the SpaceX on its way to the Moon. So it's truly revolutionary.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to know what are your future plans regarding your organization Copernic Space.
We are looking for programmers. We are looking for, so this is invitation to those of you who are interested in that. We need to increase number of our team members who are
Yes, ma'am.
designing our system using blockchain and using a lot of other tools
Yes, ma'am.
relevant to blockchain, like from Ethereum or alchemy. So if any of you is interested in being considered and talking to our chief technology officer or grant, please let us know. So we have to expand our organization too.
Yes, ma'am.
We are launching NFTs, so we are very interested in connecting with those of you who want to learn more about our NFT, gain a very unique knowledge, gain a very unique experience of working with our company which innovated space NFTs, and potentially become our representative in India.
Yes, ma'am.
And there is two things. Representative in India means someone who would work on, for example, working with the investors,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
those who would like to buy our NFT. Ambassador of Copernic Space means someone that represents us more in a philanthropic way. It's not responsible for the business results. It just creates, image and information. So the emphasis is number one: expand our technology team, and we would be delighted to work with people in India. We already have an Indian member of our team who has worked with us for 1 year.
Yes, ma'am.
So we are very, very happy with him. His name is Kamal Sai, and he's responsible for our digital designs, website, campaigns, and some of the beautiful posters that you see about Lady Rocket are designed by him.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and we are very interested in connecting with media also in India to talk about what we are doing and our interest to be present in India. And then, because I'm in Los Angeles, and because of my very active initiatives, I also collaborate with mayor of city of Los Angeles,
Yes, ma'am.
who has been designated as an ambassador to India. So our mayor of Los Angeles will be American ambassador in India.
Yes, ma'am.
And because of my relationship and because I reside in India, should we develop more activities in India, I will tell him about it and ask him to put my projects in India
Yes, ma'am.
on recognition list, okay? So those are, and of course, Lady Rocket, I also have TV shows, and
Yes, ma'am.
I am planning to produce my fun, entertaining Lady Rocket and Mars programs here in Hollywood. So I am also interested in those who would like to potentially work with me on creating a program in India,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
I think we have such a great opportunity to do that.
Yes, ma'am. And this brings
Okay.
me to my next question, that through your organization Copernic Space, how do you want to contribute toward the society?
Well, we are already doing it by even identifying our object, our goal, which is to democratize space.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
even at the time of launching Copernic Space, we chose a goal to create a way for entire society to find a legal, financial, philanthropic way to participate in space economy. So space economy is not left only in the hands of government, military, and billionaires.
Yes, ma'am.
Thus, we designed the entire platform, and we use tokens and NFTs to give you an opportunity to acquire participation in the space projects. Like, for example, the private journey of SpaceX to the moon. Never before, average person could buy participation in space project. Never before could send something personal to the moon. Never before was a way for you to start your own company on the moon.
Yes, ma'am.
We can do that. And this leads to democratization of space, so it belongs to all of us. And I think there is a beautiful opportunity between our countries, India and America, to use the space program and also art, because I am personally committed to including art and music as a part of the space program. So everything I do includes art, includes music. So our countries and young people like you and I and my team could be pioneers, just like you said, you are Mars pioneers.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
could be Mars pioneers on Earth to create a very innovative way to collaborate between our countries, between us, and indeed be Mars pioneers.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this series of podcast, The Introverse, is intended to introduce space enthusiasts, scientists, and engineers. That's why
Yes.
unwillingly I had to conclude this podcast. Concluding this podcast, I would like to appreciate everyone who have listened us till here, and I would like to thank Lady Rocket who has joined us today for the podcast. Ma'am, can you say some
And
ending
I
words? Yes, ma'am.
thank you very much, and I want to thank you for making an effort and coordinating entire event.
Yes,
There is
ma'am.
a big time difference between us. There are
Yes,
always
ma'am.
technical challenges. So I am very happy that this podcast took place,
Yes,
and I
ma'am.
am looking forward to maybe more technical discussion
Yes, ma'am.
because today I assume that we are just talking about the more general terms, but I would be very happy to discuss more engineering and scientific activities as well. So
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
very much, and
Yes, ma'am.
love to all of you.
So thank you all, and myself Himanshu signing off here.